Hi. Today I'd like to talk about an idea that Jessa Jones had shared with me a few months back, which is the idea of having a component-level repair school that's taught from a practical perspective. We're not just going to teach how electronics works out of a book, nor are we going to go over some basic concepts that are not really going to teach you how to make money out there and how to deal with real-world hassles that real-world customers are going to bring you. We want to teach you everything from our perspective on how to do this. She wants to teach you from her perspective how to do this. And she asked if I wanted to be a part of this idea. Why she's asking me is beyond me. I barely passed high school. I'm a college dropout. She's a PhD who's been a professor. Who do you think is better equipped to teach a class? I can barely hold my hand steady when I'm signing a paycheck, and she can run like 10 little wires that you can barely see all the way across a motherboard with perfectly steady hands. Needless to say, I think that she's a better qualified candidate for this than I am, as she not only is better than me at both of those fields, but she possesses equal or more knowledge when it comes to electronics troubleshooting, and she's fairly good at what she does. Needless to say, she still asked me if I wanted to be involved with this, and over the past 6 months, I've just been kind of blowing it off for several reasons. The same reasons that I didn't want to have this kind of thing done at my store. So I have people emailing me almost every single day asking, will you let me sit in your office for like $1,000 for the week or $3,000? I've got people say up to $3,000 and $5,000 for a week of learning, which I think is insane, but I appreciate the compliment, but I've been saying no to. And there are a number of reasons that I've been saying no to all of this. The first one being that above all, this business is kind of like a locomotive. Like, it starts slow, but I get there and I keep moving and I keep moving and I get faster, and then you kind of get going. And if somebody else is sitting here and stopping me every single time I'm trying to troubleshoot something, that locomotive is going to go right back to like moving really slowly, and then I'm going to have a desk with 69 boards on it, and I don't want that again. I want a clear head and a clear mind that comes from knowing that when I leave at the end of the day, for the most part, my workbench is clear. And that really is valuable to me, and that's something that I feel I would lose if I had to sit here teaching an intern all day. And so I've been shying away from this idea. And then recently I read on the eTech Parts Facebook wall that there's a practical board repair cell phone school thing. And man, that sounds very, very familiar to this idea that Jessa had of having a practical course on this. And there's even practical micro soldering on here. And the funny thing here is that the practical micro soldering being discussed is an iPad mini digitizer IC. Because that's what's practical. When the difference in the part is $5, that is what's practical. Yes, that's exactly what you need to be teaching people how to do. How to solder a digitizer connector on an obsolete iPad so that you, too, can make $2 an hour working for Elecworld in China soldering the cable onto the flex before they put it on the digitizer. That's a great fucking idea if you live in another country where people actually value doing these advanced soldering jobs to save $3 or $5. Here in America, no, that is not practical. I don't pick up my soldering iron to make less than $200. I know this is the cell phone world, so a lot of you are going to be having to pick up your soldering iron to make around $70. But there is no way in hell in a course that we are running that we are going to call it practical to pick up your soldering iron or your hot air rework station to be saving $3 or $5. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. And I go on and I read more about it, and the more and more I read about it, the more I'm like, this sounds like Jessa's idea. Again, they're even using those same wording of a practical school, and it's being taught and promoted by people who have so little, if any, practical real-world experience. And it makes me a little sad. And I wanted to leave a comment. Not nothing mean, not nothing terrible, just on the whole, like really practical, this iPad mini digitizer IC. But I can't because I've been banned from the eTech company Facebook. And man, I got a lot of things to say about iFixit. I've not always had the best of things to say about iFixit. And if you know me, you know why. But you know what iFixit is that eTech ain't? A good sport. I've said bad things about iFixit for 7 years, and I can still post on their forums. And shit, the owner of the company even commented on a video to ask for suggestions. Like, really, they are good sports. Regardless of anything else, what I can give iFixit credit for, they're a good sport. And unlike eTech, I didn't give them customers that had 5 or 6 stores that were spending $10,000 or $15,000 a month on parts. I didn't give them school clients that were spending $20,000 to $40,000 to $60,000 on screens, where this was just from a direct referral, and you really have to put almost no work in. And I gave you the part source of where to buy it because you didn't know where to get it before. So this just, you make mistakes in life and you kind of got to deal with it. So, you want to see what kind of bad sport they are? mention something when you buy 20 iPhone 5C screens and 20 of them fall apart. You shouldn't do that because they are going to ban you. So, needless to say, I don't know how that's working out. And seeing this was the push that I needed to stop ignoring Jess's messages and say, you know what? I would like to be involved in this. I would like to be involved in the real practical school for micro soldering, the real practical school for motherboard repair, the real practical school for how to make money in the repair business. And it's going to be taught by people who have practical, real world experience. I'm a college dropout who knows more than a lot of engineering majors who is self-taught in electronics to the point where I can get repairs from all around the world from all these other companies and I'm fixing stuff that they can't figure out. Jessa had limited electronics knowledge up until a few years ago, and she taught herself in her kitchen how to troubleshoot component level motherboard issues to the point where she is at the top, not just in this repair business like everybody else is, but at the top of her class fixing the issues that every other shop fucked up. We are both two self-taught people who were able to come from knowing absolutely nothing about this to knowing enough that we can service other high-end repair shops and do it in style and make money at it. And this is what I want to impart onto you. You're not just going to be coming here and learning how to replace a digitizer touch IC, nor are you going to be taught from people who don't have that practical real-world experience. You're going to be taught from people who are going to try to impart their success onto you. I want you to be able to go home to a nice apartment when you're done with this class. I want you to not have to worry about money when you're done with this class. I want you to be making videos on how to fix the stuff that other people can't when you're done with this class. I'm going to be teaching you how to troubleshoot a circuit with a $30 desktop motherboard if you don't have a $600 bench power supply. And of more importance, I'm going to teach you how to use your brain to figure out how to use whatever's in front of you when you don't have what you need to do the job. I'm going to teach you how to replace small components using a $10 soldering iron when you don't have a $600 rework station. I'm going to teach you how to learn through getting rid of your excuses. I'm going to get rid of every single one of those excuses to the point where you can make back whatever it is you're going to be paying for this course tenfold over the course of a month. I'm going to be teaching you how to be a success in this business. That's what I plan on bringing to this course. And I'm sure that Jessa has a lot more that she would like to bring to her idea and to her school, and I'm going to give her a chance to talk about that over the next upcoming months. I also want to make the schematics easy. This is something that a lot of people have been talking about where they don't know how to read schematics and they don't understand what a lot of this is. I'd like to keep out the germanium and the substrates and the inductance and the capacitance and just simply break it down to the point where you look at a picture. You look at the picture and you know within 2 seconds what's going on without having to understand what the components do. Will I teach you what the components do? Absolutely. Am I going to require from the beginning that you know how a capacitor works or how a transistor does whatever it does? No. I want you to be able to have no electronics experience and go into this being able to read a circuit diagram and have an actual fucking clue what it is that it's doing. I also want to teach you how to use your brain so that if you don't know what it's doing, that you can figure out what it's doing very simply. I want you to be able to figure out the issues that other people have not figured out. I don't want to see you just doing this monkey see, monkey do crap where you only apply solutions that other people have come up with and try to see if it's going to work with your problem. I want you to have a mindset where you can come up with the solution to all the problems that you're going to come up with. I want to teach you how to learn and teach you how to use your brain so that you're not sitting on these forums going, man, that guy's undercutting me. I guess I can only make $20 in labor now. I want the other people to be coming to you because they don't know how to fix their own fuck-ups and their own problems. That's what I want you to get from this course. That's what I'm going to be offering. And I am very proud, happy, and humbled to have been asked to teach at Jessa's Practical School of Micro Soldering and Motherboard Repair, which I hope will be very, very successful over these next coming months.